like to call the Zoning Hearing Board, the City of Erie, Pennsylvania, October 11th, 2022 meeting. Can we stand, salute the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is called to order. Roll call.
Selena King.
Present.
Edward Dawson.
Present.
Laura Guntrin.
Present. Jeffrey
Johnson.
Present.
We have 4 members present. Constitutes a quorum.
Can we have the approval of the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Been properly moved and second to approve the motion for the minutes. Any questions, if there be any? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed have the same option. Motion carries. Just before, all persons need to make sure we get your name and your address if you're here to testify, and if you're here to testify also, could we have them sworn in? Anyone who plans to testify today, promise to swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help God. All right. When you come up, you'll give your names and address. Yeah. All right. Jake, ready to move.
Okay, under appeals to be heard, we have appeal number 12276 by Greg Rubino concerning a property located at 1556 West 12th Street, located in an M1 light manufacturing zoning district. The appellant is requesting a use variance for a fitness center / gym per section 204.19 of the City of Erie zoning ordinance. Fitness center / gym is not a permitted use. We do have applicants present to speak to the project.
I'm with Rubino Realty, LLC. My address is 5050 West Ridge Road, Suite 201, 16506. We're here seeking a variance for the use for jiu-jitsu business. He'll be teaching the practice. He promotes physical and mental wellness of his clients. It's for family oriented, it's both children and adults. The property is located at the northeast corner of Green Garden Road and West 12th Street. Used to be a former truck terminal, and we converted it into a multi-tenant business. We've owned it since 2015, and we've had the difficulty of leasing the building. So we have an extreme hardship there. We've had this vacancy for many years.
Excuse
they
me.
do engineering services.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Mr. Chair, I think our stenographer is having technical difficulties, so can we make sure that she's able to record? And we're checking the chat because she keeps leaning in, not able to hear.
Will you wave if you can hear us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. There's 4 tenants. There's 4 tenant spaces. We have Ritter Technologies in there that has about 3,800 square feet. They're in engineering. They perform engineering services and fabricate and sell components of hydraulic hoses. We also have in there Divers World, and they have diving instructions, retail and wholesale diving equipment they sell. And then we recently put in about a year ago Enterprise Rent-A-Truck. Right now, we're trying to, as I mentioned, put in this new use, and we've looked for several locations. He's trying to locate northwest Erie. Everything that's there is more office orientated. There's nothing really that's a wide open space for him. So this suits him very well for location as well as design. Also, this building has a lot of parking. Sometimes he has events where he has like a jiu-jitsu event that comes in with other schools, and they participate in a competition where, in most instances, other space that are available, the parking is limited. The property is zoned light industrial. We do have because if you look at certain shopping centers around town, you'll see martial arts and things like that available in those locations. Although the zoning code tells us that maybe it's different. We feel that this should be like a hybrid area. 12th Street now, you've got, surrounding us, you've got Get Go, which is retail, restaurant use. North of us, there is a bank, basically. North of that, there's industrial. North of that, there's a plaza. On the northwest corner of Bayfront Parkway and Green Garden, you've got the Shriners Hospital. If you go down 12th Street, you have a mixed use of all kinds of things. And maybe West 12th Street should be more of a mixed use area rather than just industrial. So I think we've sent this over to you earlier. I've got a 3. We have our parking exceeds the requirement for parking code. We have Griffith Properties owns the property to the street. They've use would be fine for them. On the southeast corner, the owner of that property, Paul Gala from U.S. Netting, he's also approved the use. And Divers World, which would be the adjacent tenant, also is excited about the use. I don't know if there's any questions. If you want me to go into further detail, I can.
Yes, maybe as you said, to move this along, are you familiar with the 5 points for the variance?
Well, yes, the hardship. So we do have a hardship in trying to find a tenant for this building for 7 years. This is his business, and
Four others?
I don't know all of them, no.
Sure. Well, Mr. Trillo, let me ask you just a couple of questions. This is Art Martinucci, solicitor for the Zoning Hearing Board. You've talked about the economic hardship that the owner is facing with regard to the difficulty of leasing this particular property out. The use of this property, you've got a property that has already received at least one use variance for a portion of the property, correct? I mean, because this was light industrial when Dive World got its variance.
Yes, we have a variance for retail.
Right. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything about this use that you believe would negatively impact the character of the neighborhood?
No.
Okay. Do you think that this is more of a variance than would be required to grant you relief and allow the what's the word I'm looking for here? Allow the proper use and development of this property?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Any more?
No, I think I'm,
Okay.
if you have any questions, I'll answer.
Other members? Okay, is there anyone else here in favor? Or is anyone else here? None. Whoa. All right. Identify yourself and your address, please.
Ed Kissel, 2815 Sigsbee. The only question I would have is the sidewalk that runs from 12th and Green Garden to 10th and Green Garden, that be completed. There's a number of students that use that to go to Strongmanson High School. And with additional pedestrians, if the facility is approved, I think that should be looked at. I don't know how much the zoning would have affecting putting that in as part of the overall approval, but I would encourage that to improve the pedestrian traffic, bike path, whatever, in that corridor with numerous cars coming off of 12th Street turning down Green Garden.
I'd like to have, Jake, if you will, can you address that? I believe there was language previously in the other approvals that the Rubino Group would satisfy the sidewalks, but I believe that's on 12th Street. If there's anything that, would you let me know?
I believe the sidewalk's been constructed in front of the property from 12th to the get-go driveway at the very least. So there is sidewalk on both sides of Green Garden now.
Any others to speak in favor or in favor?
Now, I'm actually speaking either against or I'm making a refinement. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I have been commenting on this property ever since there was a failure by the city to require sidewalk when the first remodel was done. So it has taken from well before 2015 until I believe last year for the partial sidewalk to be constructed. However, that sidewalk that was constructed did not even reach all the way to where the enterprise facility which exists. There really should be a sidewalk the entire length from 12th Street all the way to the Bayfront connector, Bayfront Parkway. There is a sidewalk on the other side. However, you cannot proceed to the north on the other side. You have to cross over. But if you cross over, there's no sidewalk there. So there's going to be more traffic because it's a fitness center. There is, like I said, the sidewalk just kind of ends, and then there is parking lot. There should be sidewalk the entire length from 12th to the Bayfront Parkway, because this owner has not had to construct sidewalk all the way from 12th to the Enterprise. It's not there. It should go all the way to the north end of Enterprise, but it really should go all the way to the Bayfront Parkway. That is the appropriate thing to do so that people from the neighborhood and the students and everybody can safely cross the street at the Bayfront Parkway, get to Frontier Park or whatever it is they want to do. People from my neighborhood to the south would like to be able to safely get to Frontier Park. Thank you.
Could I have your name and address again? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Greta Tepper, 1738 West 23rd Street, Erie, Pennsylvania. And I am a retired orientation and mobility specialist. I've been focused on this property for many years.
Representatives of Rubino, could you address that issue?
I don't know if there's sidewalks on the get-go side all the way down to the Parkway, or sidewalks from the Parkway down to Green Garden. So I'm not sure if it all connects or not.
Let me ask again. Jake, were you aware that there was a request made by
I'm not aware whether that was a condition of a prior zoning hearing board decision.
Okay, well, it's in there. I read it. If anybody else didn't read it.
It was in there, and it has not been done. I drove by the property this morning. I pass it every day taking my son to Blessed Sacrament, and it still has not been completed. It was part of the enterprise variance decision that we made.
Might you need a moment to call the office to see?
Well, if it's in the variance that we had before them, I would imagine we would complete that.
So you will make sure that this is addressed if this variance is approved. Shall be completed.
We do have pavement that goes all the way to the Bayfront Parkway along Green Garden.
So I'm not sure if it's pavement or we're talking sidewalks, but
Yeah.
I think we're talking about pedestrian sidewalks.
That was in the variance for Enterprise. I wasn't involved with that variance.
Well, if we also then make the request here as part of the condition for the variance, do you have any problem with that?
I guess if it's equal for all the other property owners, if Get-Go has to do it down to the Bayfront Parkway, and if the Shriners Club and the Shriners Hospital and...
That's not what I'm asking you, sir. If you have a problem, then we may have a problem. We're asking you just to comply with what was previous, and we intend to put it in your current.
If it was previously...
If it was previously addressed. If we'd like a moment to research that before we go further, or if you'd like to continue the hearing while that's being researched, that's fine. It's not to waste anyone else's time. Any objections? I'll continue to move. Hold on. No objection? Yes, I'm going to have him next. In favor of? Yes. All right. Name and address.
Hello. Okay, my name is Tony White. My address is 1350 West Grandview Boulevard, and I'm the owner of Shoshin Jiu-Jitsu, trying to occupy the space. And I just kind of wanted to talk for a second about what we're trying to do for the community, and hopefully to let you know that we have had some issues here. We were ready to move in, basically, to the space, and we kind of got hit with this zoning thing. Here basically is it's going to be too hard to move for this to be a doable project. We really want to get this thing off the ground. We're ready to open the doors and serve the community, and we're excited to get to work. But if we don't get this zoning variance, it's going to be very difficult for us to do that, to switch locations, pack everything up that we have ready to go already, and move to a different location. So although I know that this probably should have been handled earlier, I would just ask for some grace here, considering everything that we've done to try and to get this started in the right way. As far as what we're doing for the community, we're really hoping to make a positive impact both in the private sector and in the public sector. We are teaching kids and adults martial arts in an effort to help them become more confident and capable human beings, and we're also actively involved with law enforcement, which is designed everyone safer. So that's basically my case, and I just wanted to make sure that I took the opportunity to come up and say hello and ask for a little bit of help here, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I don't have a question, but in the future, when you sign a lease, you should make sure you're in compliance with all
I
code and
completely
conditions.
agree with that.
Okay, good, good.
Yes,
Any
thank
other
you.
board member?
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Anyone else in favor? Anyone else in favor? Those opposed have the same option. Any opposed have the same option. Any opposed have the same option. To our solicitor, shall we recess while we
Yeah.
sign this, or?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. Well, also executive session to discuss the appeal.
Okay. like to resume the zoning hearing board session. In terms of clarification to our solicitor, could you clarify the request for the sidewalk and if we're in compliance there?
Sure. So looking at the prior hearings held on this particular property, it does appear that in 2021, in March of 2021 or March of 2021, there was a hearing held, and part of the conclusions of that was that the owner would complete the sidewalk on that parcel. Now, the parcel in question is not the entire area. There are actually two parcels there. There's the parcel that walk all along the north side of 12th Street and the east side of Green Garden down to the property line, where the entrance is, and then the property line's on the other side. There is a separate parcel for which no variance is presently sought, that is vacant, that is to the north of that. Now, our understanding is it is still owned by Passport. However, we can't tie the completion of a sidewalk across an area that the city engineer wouldn't require a sidewalk to be put across to a variance on this other parcel. So I believe that, based on the information that we have now from the code enforcement, the zoning enforcement, and the information that we have from the maps available, that the property owner did sidewalk down to that property line for this parcel. So I don't think that there's an issue with regard to the sidewalk in the context of this specific variance request.
Thank you. Any others to speak? Or any others to speak? Good. Call for the vote.
We'll call for the vote for appeal number 12276. Ms. King, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Yes.
Ms. Gunjan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
We have 4 yes votes. The appeal is approved.
Having no other appeals,